What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Show, where I, Graham G. Matthews, break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network and on Peacock. And today we're talking the January 14, 2023 edition of the SmackDown LowDown. Overall, I thought SmackDown on Friday was a pretty good show. Love the opening match between Braun Strowman and Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship, and the main event, obviously excellent, between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. My full audio review of the show is up right now here on the channel and over at WrestleRant.com from yesterday if you want to check it out. As for the SmackDown LowDown, Jackie Redmond, Matt Cam started off in the studio recapping the biggest headlines from Friday's SmackDown, including recapping the Rey Mysterio Karrion Kross segment. Backstage, Megan Moran catches up with Rey Mysterio, who says that Kross made it personal when he brought his family into the whole thing. He considers himself, Rey does, to be a great father. Kross doesn't know what he's talking about. He wasn't there for the 20-plus years that he spent with Dominic as his father, blah, blah, blah. And he just kind of previews the match in 2 weeks that we're getting on SmackDown between Rey and Karrion Kross, and says that he's going to essentially give Karrion Kross his comeuppance and Scarlett as well. Matt Cam says that Rey Mysterio's got to channel the anger he has right now for Dominic towards Kross, and that might help him in picking up that victory. They replay the Bray Wyatt promo where he kind of channeled his Eater of Worlds persona on SmackDown, kept it short and sweet. I enjoyed that. It was fine for what it was. Back in the studio, they preview the Pitch Black match for the Royal Rumble. No one even really knows, including LA Knight himself, what this LA Knight Bray Wyatt Pitch Black match is even going to be. It sounds completely random. They're probably going to make it up as they go along. I think LA Knight said in an interview, maybe on After the Bell, that I think he's of the impression it's going to be like a street fight, kind of, sort of, in the dark. I think were his exact words, but even he's not 100% sure, so time will tell. They also recap the Liv Morgan-Raquel Rodriguez matchup that was won by Raquel. Raquel tells Megan Morant backstage that it would mean the world to her to win the Women's Royal Rumble match and her first Royal Rumble match. This is going to be the first one that she's been in. And she's putting that out into the universe, especially since it's emanating from her home state of Texas. It would mean that much more. So for anyone wondering whether Raquel was teasing a heel turn on SmackDown with how aggressive she was towards Liv in the segment, in the backstage segment, and in their match, she's not. She was in total babyface mode here. And I've talked to Raquel before. I've interviewed her before. She seems very nice. And the person we see on screen is who she is in reality. The unfortunate part is that does not translate well to the show. It does not make for a very compelling character. She is very fucking boring. I think Raquel is quite good. She's had a decent run so far on SmackDown, one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions, albeit briefly. Some good matches with Ronda and with other people on the shows, but from a character standpoint, she's as boring as, as fucking bread. So they gotta spice it up with her, probably turn her heel. That's what was made her, that was what made her interesting for a little bit there in NXT when she was alongside Dakota Kai. Back in the studio, they preview the Women's Royal Rumble match. So far, the only 4 women, I think, officially declared for the match. They only started declaring for the match a week ago, starting with Liv Morgan, but it's Liv, Raquel Rodriguez, Rhea Ripley, and Candice. I assume the entire women's division on both brands will be in the matchup. I hope they don't waste spots and which I'm sure they will. And, more power to them. They probably want to be in the match, no disrespect, but, we know they're not going to fucking win. People like Zelina Vega, Scarlett, Sarah Logan, why even bother wasting spots on people like that? B-Fab. We know they're not going to win. I appreciate what they do in a managerial role, but they don't wrestle for a reason, I would say. So I would hope they don't waste spots on them. Not to say they should give it to fucking Kelly Kelly for the 5th time, but honestly, I would rather see a Gigi Dolan in there, or for the most part, almost anyone else from NXT, than see people that we know for a fact aren't going to win. Maybe not a Gigi Dolan specifically, because she probably won't win either, but like a Cora Jade or a Zoe Stark. I mean, I could see Nikita Lyons being in there. I'm not the biggest Nikita Lyons fan, but I would rather see people like that in there over the female managers that we know for a fact aren't going to win and are just filler spots and no one's going to give a shit. So just my own personal opinion. But anyway, they replay the main event, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. They finished 2-set match with Owens winning by disqualification following an attack from the Usos and Solo Sikoa. Unsolicited, that was not ordered by Sami Zayn or Roman Reigns. They just did that on their own. Matt Cam says that Zayn probably realized he's being used, so it's going to be an interesting story to follow in the weeks ahead as we approach the Royal Rumble. They recapped the Gunther-Strowman Intercontinental Championship matchup. That was great. Gunther winning clean, which was a pleasant surprise. Backstage, Gunther says it felt great to win. And then Kaiser and Vinci say they want in on the SmackDown Tag Team title tournament. So they're looking ahead to what they have to do to add gold into their ranks and to win this upcoming SmackDown Tag Team tournament that they haven't been announced for yet, but I assume they will be in. And they also promote next week's SmackDown featuring the tag team tournament kicking off in a first-round match, Drew McIntyre and Sheamus taking on the Viking Raiders, as well as a contract signing between Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns, because I guess the match wasn't already official for the Royal Rumble. So short and sweet stuff here this week from the SmackDown Lowdown. Nothing really out of the ordinary, very brief interviews with Rey, Imperium, Raquel, all decent stuff, though, as we head towards the Royal Rumble in 2 weeks. Thank you guys, as always, for checking out these reviews. I appreciate it. Be sure to like the video, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more daily content if you haven't already. Have an awesome one. I'm Graham GSM Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.